If you had the opportunity to live in a children's wonderland, would you choose anywhere else? We don't just say, we do. It's the Stain City way.
Good afternoon and welcome to Real Talk with me, Anele. My guest today has owned the stage, and I'm talking television as well, film screens, since her teen years. She is naturally a SAFTA winner several times over. Her trials and tribulations have taught her that gusto for life comes from within, not the buzz or the hype that seemingly the glam life of showbiz can bring you. One of her most memorable roles is her portrayal of femme fatale named Naomi, described as balls on heels in a TV soap. I have the incomparable actress and producer Moshidi Motshegwa with me today. Please make all the noise you can.
I feel like I must clap for myself.
You have to clap
the way
for
you
yourself.
introduced me.
Girl.
You have to
clap for
I
yourself.
could do this often.
Once a week.
Once a week.
What do your Thursdays look like? Like, Thursdays is you. So on Instagram I wrote, I'm about to have an interview with the second most famous Naomi in the world. Everyone's like, who that? And now you're here. Does that role still stalk you?
She will always stalk me. I think she's bigger than me.
Okay.
I think she's a lot of people. I've actually had to own her and say, you are bigger than me. You were an energy that was needed at the time. You must have spoken to spaces and places in women's lives, particularly black women.
Yes.
And black women in love.
Yes.
And the way we love our men.
Almost psychotically so.
So when I meet the others, the tribe.
Yes.
Because
the Naomi fans. The Naomis.
You know, I was once doing an interview and somebody said, sometimes I say to my boyfriend, don't make me go Naomi on you. And I thought, yo, this is real.
I know, it almost became like a verb, right?
Yes.
Going Naomi
Yes.
was like,
Yes.
You like your car, ne?
Exactly.
You like your car?
Yes.
Stop this thing.
So
then.
I think I think it's a collective thing when you work as an actor. I don't think you're ever doing the work on your own.
That's big.
And when I say collective, I mean that the energies of the world around you affects you.
And you know, you're right, because your fan base, you derive the energy from them as well.
Yes.
So when you were like putting Naomi out, you were
Yes.
just like portraying so
Yes.
many of us.
Yes. So, and when they talk back at you, the fans,
Yeah.
you then know that you've been given the space, that you've been asked to
carry on. Yeah. Create.
To exercise.
Yeah.
To help the situation, you know. And when I actually got the role, I struggled with the role because I didn't really understand it. They had sort of based it on a character from The Bold and the Beautiful from years
Sheila.
Yes, that one.
Yo.
Deep.
Hey, girl.
But my issue with it is that I was not finding her blackness. There was a lot of English and I was struggling. I was like, yo, I can't feel this woman. And Jamie Bartlett, God bless Jamie Bartlett.
I have such a crush on him. Carry on.
Have a crush
Yo,
on him, baby.
girl.
He is a hot actor.
Jonga, everything there, hey? Give
Okay.
MCM, give men crush Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Hi, girl, bring it back. Hi, Lent.
Breathe from the
Yes,
diaphragm.
please, from the diaphragm. We spoke about this. But he said to me, Moshi, she's a woman on a street where you live. Now, for me, the street where I live is the street where I grew up. I grew up in Alexander
Alex.
Township.
Yeah.
So for me, when I build a character, it is always from 6th Avenue,
Okay.
from the yard where I grew up, number 28. And I always do this exercise, which is I imagine all the houses in that yard. I open the doors of each house. I see the women
That live in
that
there
live
with their stories.
with their stories, and I take those stories, I put them in a suitcase, and I take them to work with me, and then I create a character.
So I want to open the yard and the door in the house you grew up in.
Yes.
Why were there so many books in your house? Apparently there was just books
There were
everywhere.
not books in my house. My mother was a school principal. And there were books like, there are books. My father used to read like Muhammad Ali, Sting Like a Butterfly, stuff like that. But I just generally loved books. First of all, I was a fat kid.
So you weren't doing any sport. I read that and I was like, I was a fat kid. I did shot put.
I did shot put too.
There we go.
You weren't special.
Fat kids must throw a ball.
I threw a ball. But I think books, I found others in books. I found my imagination in books. So my mother would get me secondhand books because she knew I loved books. We had encyclopedias. They were all secondhand. And I remember one school holiday reading up to X, Y, Z. And I remember reading the xylophone, ancient Greek something instrument, musical instrument.
Wow.
I was a nerd. I had pink glasses.
Okay.
So you understand my problems. And I think when you're a fat kid, you need to find something.
Here's why you need to find something. You need to find rebuttals because people are going to tease your fat ass all the time. Okay.
So what I had is I had books. And books comes with a certain intellect. So...
But also, I'll tell you what books, when I'm looking on the outside, looking into you, what they did was, the more you read, the more you realize they weren't stories about us.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Which then fuel this fire that you want to tell, you know, our stories.
My discourse as an actress will always be about the representation of black women.
Yes.
That's my discourse as a person.
So did you know this when you were 14?
I didn't know this when I was 14. I didn't.
Trip to America.
Actually, a very interesting thing happened to me. I had a friend called Moon Zara Arthur. That's quite a name, hey?
Yeah.
And Moon was a reader like me, and she brought me my first book that I read, written by a black woman, was The Color Purple.
Okay.
She brought this book, she gave it to me, and she said, I think you should read this. And I read this book, and I discovered we exist.
Okay.
So it grew this passion. So when I went to university, I didn't study drama. I actually
literature.
Yeah. I did African literature as part of my. I actually went back to do my honors.
Had you read Things Fall Apart before you decided to go?
I read Things Fall Apart in matric.
Okay.
Like all of us did.
Okay.
And then discovered Chinua Achebe.
Yeah.
So, but when I went to Vids and I discovered that there was like a library, there was a world of us. And all our madness and all our beautifulness and all our loveness and our lusciousness. It was like, it was going to the temple, man.
Dude, the sun must have shone 12 midnight for you.
Beyond midnight.
Yeah.
And I'm a binge reader. Like when I'm reading, it's like
I'm in there.
That's why I still don't have the modern technology stuff.
Twitter. She's not on Twitter, guys. She says this is the one thing. She's like, I agreed to come to this interview so I can tell the whole country I'm not on Twitter, I'm not on Instagram. You are talking to the wrong person. A mad person.
It's not me.
It's not her.
It's not me. There's somebody else out there.
But now, if you're shy, how do you win a competition to go to America when you're 14 doing
because
a monologue?
I write a monologue. I perform the monologue as an actress. You must remember that performance allows you to be somebody else.
True.
You channel all of your stuff through that person, and you can leave the stage, and you can go back to your normal world where you're not famous, where you're a fat girl, and or you can do shot put.
Yeah.
So,
javelin.
Yeah. You know, things like that. So I win this competition. I write this monologue. I enter the competition. I win it. We don't have money. I'm a black girl in Alex. There's no money. We don't have money for me to go to America. And my mother goes on this, I don't know what to call it, a crusade.
A mother.
She goes on the mother journey.
She goes on a mother journey.
She goes on the mother journey.
My child will do this.
Yes. And because there is a God, and it's a she God, she God arrives. And a man to this day who I've never met pays for me to go to America.
Oh, wow.
So I will always rely on the kindness of strangers because there are kind strangers in this world.
Oh, wow. Oh, man,
yeah, let's have a moment.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah.
Do you know what it is? Because, you know, there's so many people that will email you and message you on Facebook and be like, oh, my daughter is in a gymnastic team. They're going to Australia.
Yeah.
And you always just kind of read it and you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But, you know, I could be sending a you to, you know, to America.
Somebody sent me to America. And that person, whoever they are, made it possible for me to sit here today with you. Because what they did is they allowed me to be seen, to know that I have this gift, and to continue nurturing my gift in whatever way I could. Because when I came back from that trip, the former Johannesburg Art Ballet Drama and Music School opened to black students. And I was one of,
Timing.
and I was one of the first black girls there. In fact, in my year, there was another black girl, she left, so I was the only black girl. I became a deputy head girl, I became head of hostel, I was kept on the red team, I got half colors, I was that kid.
Okay.
But again, my life has always had the story of kindness.
Kindness from
I
other
go
people.
to the school with no money. I go and audition. At the audition, they said to me, you'll have to go back a year. And I say, no, I will not, because my parents don't have money.
Yeah.
And a gentleman called Xolani Dausha that my mother knew says to my mother, there is this Nedbank fund that you can apply for. We apply for the Nedbank fund. I get the money. I go to the school. But there's another level to this. Every term, I had to take a bus from Braamfontein and go downtown to Nedbank and get a man to sign, looking at my report, whether I could go into the next term. So I spent my last 2 years of high school not playing around.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So listen, I want to take a quick break. When we come back, I want to ask you something about Alex, because you've got a close...
Oh, yeah.
Alex is your place, right?
Oh,
I want to ask you
all
something
of them,
about that. And then you cannot forget the fact that we're running our week competition. Remember, 5,000 Rand e-gift card. Details are on the screen. We'll be right back. And welcome back to Real Talk on this Wednesday afternoon. I'm hanging out with a long-time starlet of the theatre, film and television, the lovely Moshidi Motshegwa. Listen, girl, let's
Yeah.
talk about Alex.
Let's talk about Alex.
Because I frequent Alex because I go by hard body.
Okay,
The
good.
chicken.
Okay, bring it out.
Okay.
We all go there for the hard body.
Exactly.
It's
Now-
got a real hard body.
Hard body is like a really organic chicken. The one they
The
killed
real
this morning.
organic, yes.
That's the one I go
Yes, yes.
by. Do you drive in Alex?
Of course I drive in Alex.
How, babe, do you do it?
No, but you must drive in Alex. If you can't drive in Alex...
You can't drive.
You can't drive. And you must drive in Alex with love and patience. Whilst you're driving and there's situations going on, you must observe them
Okay.
and enjoy them.
Yeah.
Because that's not your normal life, Angithi.
No, it's not. I just go in for the chicken.
Yeah, Mara, you can't get the hard body without some kind of situation.
Experience, adventure.
But it is an adventure.
I really feel like driving in Alex should be one of the things Tourism South Africa list as the things to do when you
You
land
must
here.
remember, I grew up walking to that place to get the
gosh.
chicken on Sunday.
Okay.
I walked up there
Okay.
to get the chicken
Okay.
and then walk back.
Okay.
I must get the chicken, I must get the magwinya, and then I must walk back and get the veggies on the way. And
Okay.
still go and slaughter it. It's not like now where you can buy it where it's already done.
It's really so.
No.
I want to talk about you watching, what is it? We Were Warriors? Once We Were Warriors?
Yes.
That movie?
That
You-
movie,
You went on a
affected me.
date and you watched it and you cried.
Yo. We never went on that date again.
So he never called you after that.
We are friends.
Oh.
But we never did that one again. But I think there's some movies that are so... That film spoke about a people.
Yeah.
It reminded me a lot of Alex.
Bridget for me. Why?
I think the drinking, the yard I grew up in, there was a lot of alcohol. My family doesn't drink. My parents don't drink. I mean, my dad now, he's got into like having whiskeys and stuff. But my dad is 73. So at some point in your life, you know. And there's a brutality that comes with alcohol.
Yes.
There's a violence that comes with alcohol.
Like a non-consequential.
Yes,
behavior.
and it's of another level. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like people have been drinking the whole night, and then at 3 a.m, there's like a beating that goes down. You know what I mean? These people have been singing. They've been like so happy. It's the extremities of alcohol that we don't talk about as a culture. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, because it's even the way it's positioned and the way it's marketed is that
Yes.
the ad stops whilst we're still singing and happy.
Yes.
The ad never continues.
It never continues
to
with what
the breaking
happens.
of bottles.
Yes,
To the harassment of women.
Yes.
To the strangling.
And it was the violence against women that, for me, I mean, the scenes of the beatings. It was a bit like watching Ike and Tina.
Oh,
And
yes.
that scene in the car with Lawrence Fishburne, man, and Angela Bassett. I mean, they brought down the house.
Yeah.
It's that
Okay.
kind. It's the kind of thing that you don't forget. So if
stays
you've
with
ever
you.
woken up in the middle of the night and heard somebody being beaten up, and probably before you went to sleep, those people were singing and being merry, it is something that will stay with you for a long time. So that movie took me home.
And at which point, because I know you said that you were watching too many movies, reading too many books where our stories weren't being told, and you said something so profound that we need to write ourselves into history.
We do need to write ourselves into history.
Yeah, and what did you watch? What role was it? What TV role was it? What did you read that certified you as a person who wants to be the maverick that you've become today?
The maverick, yo. Girl, you got English, man.
Ah,
Hi, man.
what do you mean?
Yo, you are educated. You know, I don't know what it is. I think it's. Listen, I read a lot of black women writers. I love them. You know, I subscribe to a blog, and recently I read a piece called it's by a woman writer called Taye Diggs, and it's the stories of the sex lives of black women. I hope I'm not saying the wrong title here. I'm probably saying it in a different way. And we write with such, it's a space that we evoke. It's a space that we enter. It's a space of memory. It's a space of pain. It's
nostalgia.
A space, love,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
but in that space, for me, it's almost like a house with rooms that you enter, and each one of them is got a place for you.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? It's like opening a wardrobe, you know?
And find your outfit.
Yes, and
Yeah.
they're like all these dresses, and all these dresses, when you put them on, they take you to a different place. It's not Alice in Wonderland.
That's dreamy though, hey?
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That it was my need to say all my experiences, all the pain, all the beauty, all the struggles, they can be written. They can become part of a dialogue. And I think the lack of black women's stories from the time we're little actually affects us.
Yes, because you look to fit in other places, and then you find that you are shaping yourself to fit in there, right?
Yes.
Whereas you could have just gone and found your story where you feel comfortable in it.
Yes.
You know, then you're like, oh, okay, so this dress, I'll use the metaphor you were using. Okay, so this dress is, I'm very tall and this dress is for very short people.
Yes.
So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna try not be tall so that I can fit into this dress.
And you know, and for me, the other thing is that what it creates is that because I was reading black women writers, it creates a certain kind of self-worth, a certain kind of confidence, a certain kind of self-esteem. You didn't become Anele. Right now we're talking about this idea, this thing of you being a tall girl, being a fat kid, and you've had to undergo something to get here.
Yeah, yeah.
To have the confidence
and
you have.
some insecurity, some
and
I
shift
need to
it.
fix this. Okay, let me
shift it and own this, because you own this.
Yeah.
I mean, this is owned.
This is here now.
This is here now. You know, so and I think that when you read books where you find yourself, you find why you are different, why you are special.
But what was that first book that you read where you read it or saw the character or saw somebody in the movie and then you were like, hey, well, hang on, there I am. There's Moshidi.
There were so many. Some of them, they didn't even have to do with me. I mean, like, for example, Buchi Machete's Joys of Motherhood, which spoke about black mothers raising their children. That book affected me.
But you weren't even a mother then?
Nervous Condition by Titi Dangaremba just knocked me. It was about this bright, intelligent, like feisty girl growing up in Zimbabwe with his father who had this family that he had to look after, and just feeling like somebody wants to break out, you know, and suffering from, what is this, when we lose weight so much and we starve ourselves.
Anorexia?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Oh.
If you haven't read Nervous Condition.
Okay.
If you haven't read Nervous Condition.
I'm wasting my time.
No, I'm not going to say you're wasting your time. I'm not like that. I'm going to say, Anele, let's read.
Just send it to me then.
Let's read.
Just send it to me.
So that book, for me, was really meeting somebody who was living in a universe that says there is a square when there were a circle.
Do you not find it that you are overly critical then when you are being handed scripts to read for characters that they want you to audition for? Like, what, your agent's name, Monalyn Lee?
I don't have an agent. Let me just put that. I have left Muneen.
Okay.
I represent myself.
Okay.
Yes.
So are you not overly critical because you do come from a very like, how do I put this?
Put it. Say it.
She's not just
Say it.
You do come from I don't want to say learned, educated, because from a very evolved place. There we go.
I'll take that.
Yes, from
I
a very
received that.
evolved place. So when a script, if I was a movie director or like a soapy director and I was giving you a script, I would be shaking like this,
No.
giving it to you.
Because let's tell the truth and shame the devil.
Okay.
We live in South Africa. We are not making a lot of movies. We are not writing a lot of roles for women. We're not writing a lot of interesting roles for women. So when you get a script, I think the challenge always is, how do I raise the bar? That's my challenge always to myself. When I get Naomi, my challenge is, how do I raise the bar? What do I bring to make this character more real, more accessible? Let her speak to the people she needs to speak to. How do I also raise the bar in terms of acting in this country? How do I say the next person coming after me needs to be better than me?
Yes. And that's
what-
okay.
And it's okay.
And that's okay.
And I believe in that.
Yeah.
I don't want another Moshidi.
Yeah.
I want somebody who's better than me. I want to
Yeah.
watch TV and go, oh my word.
I'm blown away by that person. Okay.
Yes, and when I watch TV and I see somebody like that, I want to call them. I want to say to them, hey, you're great.
You know, you could tweet them, but you're not on Twitter.
It's fine, because I'll meet them one day and I'll tell them in person, which has even much of a bigger impact.
Yeah, which is better. I like that line. I'm going to use it. Let's tell the truth and shame the devil.
Yeah, let's shame the devil.
I'm going to write that down.
Yeah, write it down.
Make sure I drop it into random conversations with people, even if it doesn't make sense. Listen, we're going to go for a quick break. Don't forget, we have us a WhatsApp line here where you can send your 20-second voice notes for our guests on the daily. So come with it. Come with it. And welcome back. So after 25 years as a professional actress, Moshidi has expanded her skill set to include the title of award-winning film producer. Her debut feature, an Afrikaans feature film, Nnako, was nominated for a 2017 Oscar for Best Foreign Language Film. Wow.
Well,
I have goosebumps.
I love that film.
Not enough people have seen that
No,
film.
not enough. South Africans need to see this film. And I'm not saying because I produced the film. I'm saying it because that story is so relevant, is so current, it's so deep, it has so many layers, I can't even touch it. It was bigger than me.
Yeah. You know, I read an article when you were announced as producer, and it says, you know, Moshidi breaks into the producing world. And then it reminded me of, I read Lance Armstrong's book, and he says that, you know, he would read reviews about how he raced, right? And, you know, they'd be like, oh, Lance Armstrong flew up those hills. And he's just like, I wanted to say, stop, guys. I didn't fly up anything.
Nobody flew up there.
I sweated.
Yes.
I pedaled.
You cried.
I cried.
Yes.
I suffered. It's like,
Yes.
I may have made it look easy, but trust me, it was anything
wasn't.
but. So when I read, I felt like, you know, guys, after 25 years, no one breaks into anything.
No, nobody breaks into anything. No, it was not a bank robbery, guys. No, it was hard work.
Yeah.
And when I came to work with David and John, they'd been on this project for 10 years.
Oh, wow.
And I worked with them for the last 5 years till we produced the film. And I loved the story from the day I read it.
Because I heard you were just editing and script helping.
Yes, I
there.
was script, and I think what had happened is that there was a lot of stuff that was taken out over the years because different people had come on board and said you should do this and whatever. But when I read it, again, it took me to Alex. Because in the 80s, my neighbors were colored. And when I would step out of the house, I would speak Afrikaans. And when I went to the National School of the Arts, it was, you know, tweetalig.
Yeah.
So Afrikaans has always been in my universe. So when I read John's story, the only word I had is gees. It's just such the correct word for it. Gees.
The spirit of the entire
spirit,
thing.
like
Yeah.
it just, and the characters and the authenticity, and I don't like that word because sometimes we abuse it.
Yeah, of course.
But it had a soul.
But I mean, you said that it taught you so much about yourself being a producer because you realize how difficult and rewarding and colorful it is to manage people.
Oh, it is.
Because that's all producing is. It's a management
Listen,
job.
and every day you have to come with a little bit of hardness and a little bit of kindness. You have to be You have to be kind to everybody. You have to look them in the eye, especially in this country when we don't pay our people enough, when there just isn't enough money. And people they are giving you their heart and soul. We did this film on a wing and a prayer. We did this film from the kindness and generosity of a massive tribe of people in Cape Town who came on board, who said, I want to be part of this film, who helped us out. I literally came off Black Sails, and we were like in pre-production whilst I was on Black Sails. And when I told some of the guys who were working on Black Sails that I was doing this, they actually said, if you need help, we will help you. So there was a day we needed a camera guy, and I phoned this man, George Amos, who's like huge. He shoots international stuff. And I said, George, would you help us out? And he said, yes, I will. I mean, I paid him nothing, nothing.
What needs to happen? Because I think we talk in circles around this film industry and the TV industry and just the entertainment industry in South Africa as a whole. We talk in circles, but we never come with solutions. What needs to happen for the money to enter the right hands?
You know what? I think I think we need to have a fund that is basically about every year we're going to choose a film that we make as South Africans.
And we pour everything
into it. And I mean, like, and we choose, and it's not about color, it's not about politics. We choose from like a plethora of stories. And we're brave enough to keep trying, because I think other countries have made films over the years and been willing to try and fall. We don't want to fall.
We're very scared of failure.
We want to make the Oscar film. We didn't make an Oscar film. We made a bioscope. Have you ever been to the bioscope?
Yeah.
I went to the bioscope.
Yeah, we
you
made
know when
a bioscope and it reached the Oscars.
Yes, you know what I mean? And somebody said to me, what did it feel like to know that you were being considered? I said, you know what? They called our name. Do you understand? They called our name.
Noem My Skollie.
Yeah, Noem My Skollie. They had to sit through us.
Somebody had to sit there and practice. Like, sorry, am I saying
Skollie,
this right?
whatever they said,
Noem.
it doesn't matter. The bottom line is they called our name. Do you know what that is like? You know, years ago, I had this opportunity where I got cast in South Africa to go shoot an episode of ER.
Yes.
And I'll never forget, because the one day I was going on set, on the Warner Brothers set. And
The lot.
And we arrived at security, and this man just couldn't be bothered to say my name. And he just went on the comms and said, ma'am, there's somebody here with a name I can't pronounce saying is coming on set. And the flip side was that when I came back to South Africa, the day I arrived, as I came out, a guy said, hello, Moshidi. And I thought, man, there's a reason why I live here.
Yeah.
Because somebody can say my name. Do you understand what a big thing it is for somebody to say your name?
Yeah.
Anele.
Yeah.
Somebody gave you that name.
I mean, just say
It's not a random situation, guys. Names are not random. Names are powerful.
They're on purpose.
No, and names call in other things, other people, other places, other spaces. So, yeah, so we were called Skollie. Noem My Skollie. Call me.
Listen, this is Real Talk, where today the stage is obviously Moshidi's. Time for a quick break. We'll be right back. And welcome back, and what a pleasure this is for a woman who hardly ever does interviews. I'm glad to be getting real with Moshidi Motshegwa. I actually, you did this one interview and you said, I don't like doing interviews, but my job requires for me to do them. I just want to tell people, just Google me. So I thought, okay, fine, I'm going to Google her. I took my computer, Google, then I put your name in.
You know what? It's because we're having a conversation.
Yeah.
You're interested.
Okay.
You're not asking me where I was born.
Okay.
You've covered that one.
Except because I want the chicken where
Yeah,
you
well,
born.
no, you just wanted to know how to if there's a short route to
pass the
Dublin.
traffic.
No, there isn't. Aye, you drive. It's part of the
Because
experience.
I looked on Google, there's like nothing about you. You were just like, no, it's okay, fine, keep to myself.
Well, it's complicated, this business, isn't it?
It is. But what I loved is the fact that you owned the fact that you didn't fit into the scene.
No,
the
I don't
parties
fit
and all
into
of
the
that.
scene. I
So you
don't.
went and you were like, you know what? Not my vibe.
You know you were there.
Yeah, let me go home.
Shem, you were there. Because it's exactly how it happened.
Yeah.
I remember I was working on Channel O, and Channel O was always having parties.
Girl.
And I went to a party, and I remember standing there and going, you just don't belong here. This is not your vibe. This is not you.
Go home.
Go home. And I got onto my car and I went home. And I've been home.
I'm home already.
I'm home.
Listen, on Twitter, at Emerald Stone, her name is Angela, says, please make sure she knows young actresses in the training like myself see her and we're grateful for her.
Oh, that is so beautiful. I don't even know what to say.
Hey, man, girl. Guys, but your Twitter names, hey, just Tinky Daisy. Yeah? Tinky Daisy.
Tinky Daisy.
Tinky Daisy,
Oh,
baby.
baby, man.
Says, Moshidi is everything. Wow, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. And then Mpoma Sia says, Moshidi is a firebrand. I miss her on the screen. Hashtag bring back Naomi.
Hey, Naomi. Ne?
Hey, Naomi, girl.
Naomi, hey.
Which other role do you feel like, was one of your biggest moments? Because I know you've acted with Taye Diggs, with Jill Scott. I mean, go Tandy Newton, you're international.
I don't know about that. I'm
International.
local. I'm hard body. I'm Alex. I'm a hard body, guys. I'm a hard body. You know what? For me, actually, funny enough, it would be a theater show. When I was at Wits, I read Tennessee Williams' Streetcar Named Desire. And I wanted to play Blanche Dubois. Now, Blanche was not written for a black woman. It was written for a white woman.
But you were like,
I said, I want that role.
Is that the one you did with John Kani?
No,
What
I
did you
did.
do with John
I
Kani?
did nothing
Nothing
but
but
the
the
truth.
truth, okay.
But I did Streetcar. It was then later done with an all-black cast, set in Sapphire Town, and I lived my dream. And I played Blanche Dubois, and it was a role I loved. I still love. I think it is the most well-written role for an actress, and one
you
that took me to
painted.
places.
You painted it.
It took me places. It made me realize that I have other levels as an actor. It pushed me. You know, a character who goes mad is a pretty huge space to go to. And she goes mad because she's in love, because she loves.
Say that again. A character who goes mad is a huge place to go to. Please unpack that for me.
Because madness comes in many levels. And when I was doing that play, I remember thinking, what are the spaces of madness that black women inhabit? And I thought about the fact that most of us grew up in very small spaces, but there was an obsession with cleanliness.
Yes.
Black mothers have an obsession
Spring
with...
cleaning, babes.
Yo,
To Brooke Benton.
yo. Mahalia Jackson, the
girl.
OJs.
We know this.
Lie to me.
Have you ever had to step on blankets inside a
Hey,
bath
girl, have you
clean them?
have you cleaned stoops?
Ufreise,
Have you washed dishes?
take the curtains down.
We didn't sleep in my house until dishes were washed and we had cleaned the floors. So, and I began to realize that there were all kinds of madnesses playing out. That even if we couldn't play them out in the outside world, but in our homes there were madnesses being played out. You know, and that this thing of alcohol, because Blanche drinks. She drank whiskey. She starts the play drinking. She ends the play drinking. So I had to also deal with this thing of what is drinking? What happens when somebody is doused? What are they really doing? Why are you numbing yourself? And what happens when you're drunk? Because you're no longer, you supposedly numb, but you're more alive now.
Yeah.
You know,
And aware and open.
and open.
And open.
And open.
And open.
And open.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so for me, it was a place I'd never been to as an actress. That space of losing control, of somebody whose universe, whatever they thought it was, has completely crumbled. Somebody who's created a lie about their life. I think we have a lot of Blanches at the moment.
Yes.
I think we're in an industry of Blanches.
Yes.
I think we blanch out all the time.
But now here's my question. I spoke to Pamela Nomvete the other day, and she said that when she comes off stage, she's open, right? And the adrenaline is here, and it's almost like she feels like she's at her sexiest, and she's more like there, like and with the conversations, and it's a highway now. When you come off stage, do you?
Yeah,
Okay.
I run.
Okay.
I run. I'm out. I can't be with people. I want to go home. I want to be with myself. I want to get back to myself.
Yeah.
And then I'll deal with the world.
How long does it take you to come back? Okay, we'll use Blanche as an example, from being Blanche to being Moshidi.
As soon as I take off my clothes. Even when I was doing Naomi,
Yeah.
I would get off set. I would have to take off my makeup. I'd have to go home. I would never go into malls after I'd just done Naomi. I needed time to just get back to me. Even if it means getting into my house, making myself a cup of tea, wearing my own clothes, having nothing to do with that woman.
Yeah.
Leaving her not at the doorstep, at the job.
Okay.
So I think also when I started in the industry, I worked with some wonderful, wonderful souls. I worked with Ntate Ramla Makhene, who is late now, but who was phenomenal in teaching me
A science.
And a respect. There's a respect to this. And when I lived in America for a year and I studied the Suzuki method, which talks about when the stage is a sacred place, and when you enter the stage, you are raising those who have gone before.
Wow. I want to Google the Suzuki method now.
You are the Suzuki method. I know you. Anele is a Suzuki, man.
I'm so sad that we have to go for a break, right? But we'll be right back for the last time. And it's like, it's breaking me that we only have 9 minutes left with her. It's breaking me. And welcome back for the last few minutes on Real Talk on this chilly Wednesday evening. So there was an interview in the Health Chronicle.
I don't remember that one.
Yeah, no, it wasn't yours, girl.
Oh,
it was
thank God.
David Max Brown's.
Yes.
Where he said, they asked him what was the most special thing about a moment on a shoot. And he said, my wife Moshidi finding out she's pregnant on a shoot.
On a shoot.
Hi, man, girl, let us into the story now here, man.
Listen, it was so surreal for us because we're shooting in Ocean View, which does not have a view of the ocean. I just want to say.
Just put that out there.
Let me just put that out there. We're shooting this place. We've been there for 10 days. It's raining. It's gray. We are worried about our crew. It's our last day. We need to get the crew out. We're sitting at the gynae, and I'm being told I'm pregnant. All I remember thinking was, is my crew going to make it today? Because when you're producing a film, it becomes about the people.
But what about the extra person now?
Well, the extra person, as soon as we finished shooting, I got involved with the extra person.
Okay. You were
so, yes. So and because I was doing yoga at the time, it has always been able to bring me back to that place, to the place of, it's about this person, it's about this moment in my life, which I have always wanted, which was happening. But it was surreal for us because when you're looking at Table Mountain thinking the cloud is moving in and there's a guy telling you you're pregnant, the two universes don't meet.
Oh, wow. And apparently you kept up with your husband.
I did.
4 a.m. call times, you were like, let's do it.
My baby's a soldier.
Ah.
She chose this mama.
She's been to war already.
She's been to war already.
And then when I hear that story, and then I read an article that you wrote about your mother, and that earlier on when you were a kid, your mother used to teach by instruction. And then later in life, it was observation where she would do things and you would watch her, and that's how you would learn. For Ariella, your daughter, what's important for you to tell her? And then most importantly, what is important for her to watch you do and learn like that?
I think it's important for her to see me being present. And I think the most important thing I can teach my daughter is to know that she's not a second-class citizen, that she is worth it, that she does not need to be validated by somebody else, that the first validation she has is of herself. And I'm going to say something controversial. Not controversial, that's a little bit, I wish to teach my daughter how to be selfish. We don't teach women.
Oh, babe.
We don't teach women that. May we teach our daughters how to be selfish.
No, come
May
here.
we teach our daughters to know when to leave. May we teach our daughters when enough is enough. May we teach them that you do not need somebody else to know you're beautiful, you're worth it, you are intelligent.
Selfish. Look out for number one. Now, number one. Number one is here.
When it don't feel right to you, forget it. And don't compromise. My brother taught me that. My younger brother taught me that.
Don't compromise.
Don't compromise.
Not ever.
My brother said to me, when you decide to settle down, don't compromise on who you are.
Okay. And this, your husband, this relationship,
There's compromise, honey.
You both creators, of course. There's compromise.
We produced a movie. There was a compromise.
All right, but watching him go from just being your husband to, you know, the father of your child, you know, what have you learned about him now when you see him in a different light?
Well, David has a son.
Yes.
So I've seen him as a parent before.
Excellent. Okay.
And he loves children. So I wasn't surprised. There's no surprise.
Okay.
But I think he's never had a daughter.
A little princess.
And I think, yeah.
Did it just like make him mushy pies inside?
I think he doesn't know what just hit him. I think he's somewhere out there floating, but he will recover. I think girls are just different to boys. I think girls come with other stuff.
Yeah.
And they're fierce.
Yeah.
Little girls are fierce.
I don't know when we teach them to lose it though.
Just tell them to hold on to it.
Yeah, ne?
Don't try to tidy it up. Don't try. We tidy up girls. That's what we do.
Don't be this. No,
Don't
you
be
do this.
Yes.
No, you do that. No, you.
Yes. And I think it's our own fear being projected onto them. And listen, I think parenthood is a state of fear. I think in this country today, it is a serious state of fear being a parent because you just don't know. But I think you have to allow the idea that there is something bigger than you that is holding the situation, that is guiding the situation. And sometimes you're going to be the student and not the teacher.
And on that note, I hope each and every young girl watching us today with a dream and a talent heard exactly that. Even if you don't have all the answers yet,
They
hear
come in
that.
time.
You will do it. That's all we have time for today. One of my all-time favorite females on screen was with us today, Moshidi Motshegwa. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
It has been real. Mzansi.
Woo!
Tomorrow, 5 p.m.